Hey guys, so I'm currently walking to the theater to go see Venom. Very excited. I didn't really record an intro just because I think my video that I uploaded yesterday of me reacting to the scene where Carnage is born was kind of like my prologue to this video. I didn't really need to say what I already said again. It's a waste of your guys' time. It's a waste of my time. And very excited. I got the theater right behind me. So very, very excited for this movie. Hearing a lot of great things about it. Audience score is like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critic score is like 54%, but I don't care about critic score. I care about how I feel about the movie, how people like me feel about the movie. So I'm really hyped about this post-credit scene. I still think it has something to do with Morbius because I believe Morbius and Venom are in the same universe. So let's just see. Very excited. Like I don't know what else to say.
Be careful what you wish for, Parker. Hello, Peter. Oh, managed trouble already. Time to die. That's the spirit. I mean us. We are going to die. I'll shut her up for good. No, stop, you idiot! Let there be carnage. Tell the world how he was a scared little boy that no one cared about and no one came to stay.
Y'all say I'm chased, but you know how so I got that ball, but it's spread. Yeah, I'm still sourdough. I don't know. I'm square peg in a round bowl, like I'm like hiding stuff from me.
80 billion light years of hive knowledge across universes would explode your tiny little brain.
What does that even mean, man?
Well, let me give you a taste then. Just the smallest fraction of the things we symbiotes have experienced.
Okay.
Ready, Eddie?
Yeah.
What's happening? Oh, no. What the hell is that? Oh, that's just a towel. Where are we? What did you do? It wasn't me.
Incredibly, this shocking revelation brought to light by yours truly has only raised more
What is it?
like a Peter Parker, a.k.a. Spider-Man, a.k.a. the Spider Menace.
Oh shit!
Dear viewers, we here at the Daily Bugle will not until we've uncovered the truth. Well alive. I'm Chico the Jameson. Good night. And God help us all.
Dude, what are you doing in my room?
Let's go, guys. We gotta talk. Oh my god.
In a world where the lovers are free, criminalizing the pain of the sea. See, glitter ain't always gold. They want war, but we came for the peace. Misfits in the belly of the beast. Get ready for the rally in the streets. Don't aim too high, they tell you. But above clouds we reach. I'm numb to the words they preach. We listen to the inner voice.
What the? What did I just watch? Dude, that's serious. I thought it was gonna be Morbius. Morbius, not freaking that. Jesus fucking Christ. We gotta talk when I get home. Oh my god. This is gonna be so much fun to edit. I cannot wait. I don't want to say anything out loud because there's people nearby, so I don't want to spoil anything. But we'll talk soon. See you guys shortly. How do you see a movie like Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and sit down to do a review without freaking the fuck out? How good is it to be a Spider-Man fan? Wow. Spoilers from this point on. Guys, oh my god, if you've seen Venom Let There Be Carnage, that post-credit scene alone, my god. I'm gonna talk about the movie itself and not judge it solely off the post-credit scene, which changes everything. This movie was incredible. I went into this movie expecting, Carnage doing things and Venom doing things, and I got those things, and very surprising choices were made for certain characters, and I'll get there in a second. But overall, this movie was a solid 10 out of 10 for me. Is it a 10 out of 10 movie? Again, if you don't, if you're not familiar with how I review movies, I don't review them based on, are they a Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino level movie? If I go into a movie wanting a certain type of movie, I'm going to judge it based on that type of movie and if I liked it or not. With Venom, Let There Be Carnage, as someone who's been waiting to see Carnage in live action on the big screen since he was 8 years old, I was not disappointed. In fact, it exceeded my expectations. Sorry, I'm so excited I can't even speak right. They did Carnage so right. Carnage looked and sounded and moved and felt and just sent chills down my spine. It all felt and looked so good and terrifying too, which is a very important part of Carnage's character. Wow. Cletus Cassidy alone, also a fantastic character. Not just some random serial killer. You really feel motivation behind his character, and throughout the entire movie you're just led to believe he's just some psychopath and I just wanted a family, it's that. And then Eddie's like, well, you have a funny way of showing it by murdering your grandma and your mom. And by the end of the movie, one of his last lines is like, you only told your side of the story, you didn't tell my side of the story, where I was abused as a kid and did these things because it was how I felt was my only way out of that situation, and it just put me on a path of pain and destruction, and look where we're at now. And I think that it was a perfect move for this character, because it's not just some random villain that you're just like, okay, whatever, yeah, it was a cool serial killer. You could kind of understand where he's coming from. You could kind of feel the pain that he may have had when he was a kid. Obviously, you don't want to root for the character. I mean, he's a psychopath, he's a serial killer, but you can still understand why he is the way he is in some capacity. And that's what makes Cletus Cassidy's character so beautiful when paired with Carnage, because Carnage is what people think Cletus Cassidy is, just some murderer, some psychopath, some serial killer. And Carnage, that is what he is. He just wants to kill and destroy Venom and all the things around him. Whereas Cletus Cassidy, his destruction and his mental psyche is rooted from pain. He has a reason, and Carnage doesn't. So I think at the end of the movie, when it's revealed that those two aren't compatible together, had a much deeper meaning than just, oh, they aren't compatible together, we can kill them. And I interpreted it as that, because Cletus Cassidy is not Carnage, and Carnage is not Cletus Cassidy, because look at Eddie Brock and Venom. Both were outcasts in their own way, in their own society, and I think that's one of the reasons why they are compatible. It's not just, a symbiotic pair, but also as characters. And I don't think Cletus Cassidy and Carnage are, because they kill people, and that's what they have in common, and they like the color red, and that's pretty much it. I think that was a very metaphorical way to show why these two characters aren't metaphorical, and to show you that there is a little bit of humanity left, or was some humanity left in Cletus. And Cletus's relationship with Shriek, which I didn't know Shriek was a major part of Carnage's character in the comics. I did not know that part. So one of you, Gabrielle, if you're watching this, sorry if I mispronounced your name, let me know. Like, no, this is a big part of the comics. And they interpreted that well, interpreted this so well on the screen. I was like captivated by them. Like, these characters are so good for each other because they both grew up in such bad and shitty situations, and they found each other through shitty situations, and they both separated because of shitty situations. And I just thought it was a very, very good move for not just character development but character motivation for Cletus Cassidy. And because although this movie was short, it did a lot for the character development. We got a lot of Cletus Cassidy, and we got actually a lot of Carnage, and none of the scenes in the trailers were cut. And I'm really surprised, with an hour-and-a-half movie, how long that felt, considering how short the runtime is for a typical comic book movie. The writers here, Andy Serkis's directing, it all blended so well. And I think if you're enjoying a movie, you kind of just forget about the runtime, because by the time the credits were rolling, I was like, it's already, like, it's been an hour and a half, that's it? Like, it felt like it's been 2 hours. And for me, that's a good feeling. I wanted more of this movie, but at the same time, I didn't, because the way it ended and the way it tied into the post-credit scene is something so beyond insane, and I can't wait to talk about that. Every single character had a purpose in this movie. I really did enjoy bringing back the other characters from the first Venom movie and giving them a reason to be in this movie rather than just having them in here just for the sake of having them in here, It drove the Carnage plot forward with the wedding. And by the way, that line with the red wedding, I see that Game of Thrones reference there. Freaking Carnage is, we're going to have a red wedding. By the way, Carnage's voice was so terrifying good. I loved it. I can't think of one negative about this film. Oh, and the Venom and Eddie breakup. I love that so much because it gave Eddie a chance to shine as a character, because Venom did make a point without, if Eddie didn't have Venom, he would have never caught on to that clue that Cletus indirectly gave him, where the bodies were murdered over on that beach hillside. And I think that we also have to understand, like, we love Venom, but I also want to love Eddie Brock. So breaking those two characters up and giving them their own little side quest was a really smart move, I think. And there wasn't a scene where I'm like, oh, we cut away from Venom, I really want to go back to him, because I don't really find any of this interesting, which never happened. Every single scene, every single character I was captivated by. I always wanted to go back to Carnage. I always wanted to go back to Venom. I always wanted to go back to Eddie Brock. So balancing all this was a really, really nicely well done move by both the directors, writers, whoever was responsible for making that decision. And I was really bummed out when I found out how short this movie was going to be. But now looking back on it, I'm always, always, always quality over quantity. And I think that how short this movie was, nothing felt rushed, but it also didn't feel like it dragged on too long. And I think the runtime was perfect. I think that, like I said earlier, it didn't feel like an hour and a half. It felt longer. And I think that's just because nothing felt slow. The pacing was phenomenal in this movie. The acting was phenomenal. The writing was phenomenal. The CGI, oh my God, it was beautiful. The Carnage Venom fight was beautiful. You saw, I was having such a good time in this movie. And I was sitting in the very back because I do, as you guys saw, I do film, reactions inside the theater, usually just post-credit scenes. But I was enjoying this movie so much. I just wanted to get a little bit of me just smiling and having a good time seeing these two beasts of characters battle it out, and it was beautiful. Kind of bummed out Cletus Cassidy did die, but we may see him come back after this whole multiversal shift. I mean, symbiotes are descendants from a character called Cruff, I think, or Cluff. He precedes the Big Bang. Please correct me. It starts with a K. I know that's like Cruff or Cluff, something like that. He's a really big character when it comes to symbiotes and their origin. So please correct me if I'm wrong there, but I do know it's something to do with him, and he does precede the Big Bang. So it does, for me as a comic book fan, I know why, Venom, when the thing happens in the post-credit scene, why he wouldn't just be deleted, or why, they were in the same spot and, different dimension, but still had their memories. But I want to finish talking about the main points about the movie before I move there. But I think I've pretty much touched on everything. I think Cletus Cassidy wasn't cringy. I'm really glad they got rid of that wig. I think the wig in the first movie was more comic accurate, but I think it looks a lot better in this movie, far better in this movie. And oh, I also want to bring up that watching and reacting to that scene, the Carnage birth scene. I was kind of worried about doing that because I was like, this movie is so short, and I don't know how many Carnage scenes there are in this movie. I don't want to take away from that and that enjoyment. And I was very pleasantly surprised with how much Carnage we got in this movie. I was not disappointed at all. That scene did, watching that scene before I saw the movie did not ruin it for me. There was plenty more Carnage to see in this movie. You don't really get to see Carnage until halfway through the movie, I think. But again, I don't even know because I wasn't even paying attention to how long the movie was. I was just enjoying it. So I don't even know. But you probably meet him, the actual character Carnage, in the see him actually do stuff in the jailbreak scene in like the second act ish, halfway through the second act, and yeah, I think that's all I need to say about the movie, but let's move on to the post-credit scene. What the fuck just happened? Okay, so the post-credit scene basically plays out how I was, watching it. You obviously saw my reaction, but you didn't really see what was going on in my head. So, you see him laying low, like Venom wanted to do, and, Eddie agreed to do as well. And they're on the bed, they're watching TV, and, Venom offers Eddie to be, have some access to some symbiote knowledge. And you see him going through this little mind trip, and you're like, okay, so Venom sharing knowledge. Okay, this is what the post-credit scene was about. It's going to tie into other symbiotes. And then boom, Venom's like, whoa, what just happened? And you're like, what? And then you can kind of see the colors. So as soon as I saw the colors, I was like, oh my god, is this in reference to the spell Doctor Strange did? Like, was the spell Strange did tying into here? And that's what bridged these two universes. And that's why Venom stayed in this universe, because of what we talked about earlier with the whole Cruff or Cluff, whatever that symbiote god or symbiote ancestor, was. Or was it because of WandaVision when they crossed the threshold there, which Kang brought up? Or was it because of Loki? And Loki, but Loki, the show Loki more so, opened up the universe, the possibility of a multiverse, and I think that No Way Home is going to be the one to actually dive into it, and then we're going to have some consequences in Multiverse of Madness and maybe fixing the mess there, but we'll cross that bridge in March. But yeah, then we see J. Jonah Jameson on the screen, and I never thought I would get more chills than Venom looking at the TV and just going, that guy, just licking the TV with Spider-Man. I was... oh my god, that was perfect. We're getting Venom with an MCU Spider-Man. Like, how does that not get you hyped? So I'm thinking that character we all thought was Lizard in the No Way Home trailer was actually Venom. Or maybe there is Venom and Lizard, because if Venom is in No Way Home, I will cry. I will cry. Because how cool would it be to see if the other Spider-Men are in this movie just go, oh, is he yours? I think he's mine. You guys just want to go and like team up, or we're gonna go, tackle ours individually? But sorry, I think I still have popcorn in my throat. Yeah, I think that could have been Venom. I'd have to go back and rewatch it really slowly and see how he was moving. I really hope that next time we see Venom in the next movie we see him, or maybe his third movie, he gets that, finally gets that spider symbol. Because if Venom is now obsessed with Peter, because Venom really does love Spider-Man, and he's really upset when Spider-Man rejects him, and it would be cool to see, him get rejected, but him still hold on to that spider sigil to be like, I was once part of you, and I'm going to carry that with me. And then Eddie Brock take him back, maybe it's cancer, becomes anti-Venom, and that whole thing. Or maybe Flash Gordon will become the anti-Venom, but we don't know that yet. But super, super excited for, right when you think you couldn't get more excited for No Way Home, this movie comes out. And the movie itself is great. It's phenomenal. Without this post-credit scene, this movie would still be just as good. But this post-credit scene added something so much more and so much deeper inside the story that is the MCU. So guys, No Way Home, right around the corner. Are you excited? I'm excited. But guys, thank you so much for watching my review and reaction to Venom, Let There Be Carnage. If you like this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Let me know what your favorite moment was down in the comments below. And if you want to be notified every single time I upload a new movie review, Marvel reaction, whatever you want to call it, don't forget to hit that notification bell. Thank you to my current patrons. Your guys' support really does mean a lot to me. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in my next reaction to the MCU. Well, now I can say the MCU Phase 4. That feels good, to the MCU Phase 4.